So, what do we do with those German regular verbs in the perfect tense? How do we conjugate them? To remind you again, the perfect tense consists of a form of haben and sein, which we already covered in the last lecture, and a past participle, which we look at in this lecture. Past participle goes to the end of the sentence or clause, and as in the present tense, there are regular and irregular verbs and exceptions. So, in this lecture, we're looking at regular verbs with a form of haben, and we'll have a look how the past participle gets formed. Just a quick reminder again, the form of haben, ich habe, du hast, es hat, wir haben, ihr habt, sie haben. But you did remember that one from the last lecture, didn't you? So, how do we do the past participle? Let's choose the verb spielen, to play. We get rid of the en, add a ge at the front, and a t at the end of the stem, and we have gespielt. Let's do it again with machen, to make, to do. We get rid of the en, we add a ge and a t, and we have gemacht. Kochen, to cook. If you want to say you've cooked, how do we form the past participle? Get rid of the en, add the ge at the front, the t at the end, and you have gekocht. I'll give you some examples with the gespielt. Ich habe Gitarre gespielt. That will be one of the first few basic sentences you'll probably come across when you start learning the past tense. But what if you want to say a bit more? Ich habe gestern mit meinem Freund Gitarre gespielt. I played the guitar with my friend yesterday. So the habe has to be at the beginning, second place, where the verbs usually always ist in German. But the gespielt, the past participle, goes to the end of the sentence, and everything else comes in between. If we have a really complicated sentence, one with two clauses, ich habe gestern mit meinem Freund Gitarre gespielt, weil wir üben mussten. First clause, I played with my friend yesterday, the guitar. Second clause, because we had to practice. Now, it would not make sense to put the gespielt at the end of the sentence. So it's at the end of the clause, which means the past participle will be found in front of a full stop or in front of a comma. So be careful with that if you come across longer sentences. Let's have an example with machen. Ich habe meine Hausaufgaben gemacht. Of course you have. You've done your homework, didn't you? Ich habe meine Hausaufgaben gestern in der Küche gemacht. Done my homework in the kitchen yesterday. Gemacht at the end of the sentence. Ich habe meine Hausaufgaben gestern in der Küche gemacht, bevor ich ins Kino gegangen bin. So I've done my homework yesterday in the kitchen before I went to the cinema. Two clauses, gemacht is in front of the comma. Ich habe Spaghetti gekocht. Ich habe gestern für meine Kinder in der Küche gekocht. Or a long one. Ich habe gestern für meine Kinder in der Küche Spaghetti gekocht, aber es hat ihnen nicht geschmeckt. Over to you. What are the past participles of lernen, hören, schicken, packen, kaufen? Maybe you can pause the video, have a think about those, possibly even write them down, and when you think you know the answer, switch it back on to see if you're right. And here are the answers. The past participle of lernen is gelernt, from hören, gehört, schicken, geschickt, packen, gepackt, kaufen, gekauft. Homework! Make some sentences with those verbs. So spielen, machen, kochen, lernen, hören, schicken, packen, kaufen. Using any of these. So ich habe, du hast, Don't have every sentence with ich habe. Choose some different ones as well. If you're really brave, you could then post them in the question and answer section and we can all have a look. If you don't feel quite so brave, but you would like me to have a look to see that you're right, you can also send them to me. Have fun!